What if I told you that there is absolutely no competition in the virtual assistant space right now? Immediately when I say that, I'm sure you're like, what? But it's true. I used to believe that I had to be the most skilled virtual assistant to stand out amongst all of the competition that I thought was in the online space. I was in so many different Facebook groups that had thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of virtual assistants. And I was always struggling to figure out how I could stand out. Every single time somebody posted something on there, a potential client posted that they were looking for a VA, I would see hundreds of comments come in. And a lot of the time, I didn't even think it was worth it to reach out to that person at that point because they already had so many people. How could I possibly compete with all of those other people that got to that person before I did? I spent hours trying to perfect my technical abilities, trying to learn about project management platforms and what services I could offer, thinking that that would allow me to stand out from all of those other people. But I quickly realized something. Clients were not choosing me because of my skills. They were not deciding to work with me, to bring me on as their virtual assistant because of my skills. They were choosing me because of who I was and the experience I gave them. And this is what we're talking about today inside of the VA Vortex. Here's the truth about the virtual assistant industry. It is not about the skills that you have. It's about the person that you are and the experience your clients have with you. And I'm going to tell you why this changes everything about what you think competition really is in this space. So if it's your first time here, my name is Rebecca Morassutti, and I am a client-first virtual assistant mentor, an educator, an entrepreneur. I'm writing a book. I've been featured in Business Insider in various outlets all across the world on different podcasts, teaching women how to start their own virtual assistant businesses. Now, something that is very important to me and has always been important to me from day one is this idea of client first. And that's what I just mentioned when I went over a little bit about who I was, right? I said client first virtual assistant mentor. And this is really, 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 really important because this actually is what's going to allow you to stand out from all of this perceived competition. All right? So you've seen there's this amazing graphic beside me. And this is one of my, I'm going to say my most proud graphics. And I know it doesn't seem like it, but this took me a very long time to make. Okay. A lot of little people on here and a lot of time to load. And I want you to take a look at this. And at first glance, you see that there are so many people. All right. There are so many people that are trying to be in this space. Okay, so we're going to take a little breakdown right now of all of the different sort of levels of people in this space. And then we're going to talk about how clients are currently feeling with the state of the virtual assistant industry and how you can actually use this information to your advantage to land your next VA client. All right, let's get into it. So I want to take a look at this graphic here first. This graphic represents how your client sees the virtual assistant industry. All right. Now, you may be looking at this graphic and thinking this is kind of how I see the virtual assistant industry too, right? So many little people everywhere. How am I going to stand out in this massive sea of people? So I want you to take a look at the first section. Okay. The first section here. I'm using two monitors today. So the first section right here. This is the amount of people that have thought about becoming a virtual assistant. Thousands of people are thinking about becoming a virtual assistant, and they're doing it by focusing on their skills. They're thinking, okay, I have the skills I need to be a virtual assistant. Hands up if that's you, right? Have you thought about that? Like, yes, I have the skills that it would take to actually become a virtual assistant business and start my online thing, right? Now, even people who are thinking about becoming a VA and even making some attempts at becoming a VA are very, very, very focused on skills. Okay. And because of that, they're also focused on this idea that the better that they can present their skills, the more likely they are to actually be successful in their business. So you'll see the next kind of tier of people are people who have built a website, built a VA Instagram, joined Facebook groups. They're trying to build the business based on the idea that they need to promote their skills and promote their services to actually attract clients. Now you'll see there are less than that first group. Okay, so we're already weeding out some of this perceived competition already, but it still is very skills based in this phase. Okay. But here really is the key that I need you to start understanding is that clients do not care if you have a bunch of skills. They literally do not care about your skills, okay? What they actually care about is whether or not you're going to treat their business with the same care, dedication, and passion that they do. They want someone who shows up as a partner, okay? Someone they can trust that will go above and beyond. But unfortunately, most people in the space never do that, right? So we can see here that there are even less people that actually move their business to side hustle status. So if you're in Facebook groups right now, or maybe you've even gone on Instagram and you've searched the hashtag virtual assistant hashtag and you've seen all these different people in there and they might have a website and they might have a nice little Instagram template that they're using for their posts and all of that. And immediately you think, wow, they must be running a business. Well, in fact, I'm going to say 99% of those people are not running a successful business at all and do not have any clients. And VA clients are actually very aware of this, right? But as new VAs coming into the space, I know you're probably a person that likes to do research. I'm a person that likes to do research. I want to see what other virtual assistants are doing so I can kind of make an idea and create an idea of like what services I should offer, what pricing that I should offer. These were all thoughts that I had when I started out, right? And I'm sure those are some of the thoughts that you've had as well, right? Like you want to know what sort of the industry standard is. But when we start doing that, we actually start to get a bit discouraged because we think that there are a lot of people doing this and a lot of people that are charging really low rates. So we also start questioning, like, how are we actually going to live off of this business? So because of that, a lot of people, again, drop out and they move their business to what I like to call side hustle status. So what this means is they may have a VA client, maybe they're making $18, $19 an hour. It's all project-based work, but it's not enough of a business. There isn't that sustainability there and that stability in the business to be able to go full time and for the person to actually feel comfortable leaving their 9-to-5 job, okay, quitting their 9-to-5 job. And again, this really comes down to the skills. Most VAs think that competition is about who has the most skills. So a lot of people spend most of their time building websites, updating Instagram bios, learning something on YouTube, feeling like they have to learn one more thing before they can actually go for it. But like I said, none of that matters, okay? None of that matters if your clients can't trust you to help them succeed. And your skills do not actually build that trust. I know, but it's true. Your skills do not actually build that trust, all right? And this is why most of the people in the VA industry actually stay stuck in the side hustle status, right? The side hustle phase. They're focusing on the wrong thing. They're focusing all their energy on the wrong thing, okay? I want you to really start to take this in that you are the differentiator here, okay? You are the reason your clients will choose you, not the skills that you have. They're going to choose you because of the relationship that you build with them, because of how you actually treat your business and how you present yourself as an equal, as a partner to them, okay? So let's come back to our graphic here. I want to head up to this one. You can see that even less than the side hustle people, right? Like one section of the side hustle people have actually gone full time in their business. Okay. Now, I want you to see, like, we've gone from here, where this is probably where you're at right now, or maybe you're like at this level, right? Thinking, oh my God, there's just so many people, to here. People who have actually gone full-time in their VA business. Now, this is definitely more along the lines of what your ideal client is looking for. They're not wanting to work with somebody who isn't full-time in their business because that tells them that you're not committed to your business, right? That tells them you're not committed to your business. Now, will there be a transition period where you're working with clients but you're still in your 9-to-5? Of course there will, right? Most people have that transition period. But the intention needs to be there of, oh yeah, I'm quitting my 9-to-5 as soon as possible and I'm going full-time in my VA business. This is what I want to do long term. Okay? It's very important. This is what clients are searching for. Okay? And again, what sets these people apart is not their technical skills, right? It's not their technical skills. It's the fact that they have made a real commitment to their business. And as a business owner, as a potential client for you, right? You want to see that someone is just as invested into their business as you are in your own. It's very, 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 very important. You don't want to work with a VA who's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? And I know that that's not the kind of person you are either. So I want you to keep this in your mind here. Okay. So again, if you've gone full time in your VA business, that's great. But, okay, I want you to come down here because in this green square, this is where you are going to be. All right. You are going to be in this green square. And I want you to just really take a look here at how this is the perceived competition. This is the reality. And you know what? The reality is probably even actually better than what I've laid out here. All right. I've given a little bit of a buffer here. All right. So look at this tiny group of successful VAs. Look at them. These are the VAs that clients want. And you can see how there's honestly no competition. If you take into consideration that there are over 500 million small businesses operating in this world right now, that number increases every single day. There is no competition for you, okay? There is no competition. It just doesn't exist, okay? And again, what sets these people apart is not their technical skills. It's their ability to deliver an exceptional experience. They show up like a business owner. They show up as a partner to their clients. They bring confidence. They bring reliability. They bring consistency. And this is what clients are searching for that they just cannot find. Clients are completely jaded by the virtual assistant industry. But the thing is, they need support. They need support and they struggle to find it. So you can see here that there is a small group of people that see what they actually do as a legitimate business. And I want you to start thinking about this for yourself. Do some reflection here. When you've been thinking about building your VA business, are you actually looking at it as a business, or are you thinking you're going to just be an employee of somebody else? Right? Are you thinking, okay, I'm going to work for someone instead of working with someone? I want you to pay really close attention to your mindset. I want you to pay really close attention to the story that you're telling yourself and what your future is going to look like. Because if you're telling yourself you're going to be working for clients, you're going to be in this whole sea of all these people over here. The moment that you start shifting your mindset to think, I'm going to work with this person, we're going to collaborate, I'm going to partner with them, we're going to grow their business together, you put yourself in a league of your own. And this is what clients want and struggle to find, right? I want you to take a look at this little red person right here. Maybe you didn't even notice that that red person is in this massive sea of people. And right now, that person is you, right? You may be here. You may be here. You may be in Facebook groups and feel like you're in a massive sea of people. But I want you to know that you are actually this person. And your competition is not real. All right? So again, most virtual assistants are too focused on competing on skill. So they never even show up in this section. They never even show up in this section because you're so focused on skills and packages and pricing and all this that you don't even put yourself in this league right here. And what gets you there is your mindset. Okay. Again, I talk about mindset a lot. I'm not talking about manifestation or affirmations. I'm talking about how you actually see and perceive the business that you're building, the relationship that you're building with your potential client. Okay. Clients have not found the virtual assistant they truly need because that VA is you, and you have not shown up as this person yet in your business. Okay. So I want you to take a moment right here, and I want you to leave this VA vortex knowing that it is not your skills that are going to make you successful in this industry. Far from it. Your skills don't matter. It's the person you are and the experience you give your potential client, how you actually show up. Clients are not sitting around looking for somebody with 10 different certifications, hoping and praying that they're going to just find somebody that has all the skills that they need. They're looking for someone who can show up for them, to be a reliable resource in their business and help them build their business and succeed long term. They're not looking for a transactional VA that's just in it to manage their emails and then peace out later. They want somebody that is in it for the long run, someone who cares about their business just as much as they do. So the truth is that your competition, this perceived competition, literally does not exist, okay? Because when you are creating an experience that clients cannot find anywhere else, your skills do not matter. And this is what they want. When you show up fully as a business owner, okay, the business owner that you are when you start your VA business, and a partner that your client has been searching for and needing for so long, you stop competing and you start connecting with those clients that value that. And here's the best part about that. Those are the clients that are also going to pay you thousands of dollars every month to work with them, okay? It's not about the skills you have. It's about the person that you actually are. And there is someone out there right now, potentially 3, 4, 5 people that are literally sitting and waiting for you to find them. They think that you do not exist right now because they have had an experience with all of these other people and they've not been happy. But we are going to change that. We're going to change that together. So I want you to hop back into the email here and I want you to head over to your action item. And I want you to start thinking about how you can actually start to position yourself as a partner to your potential VA clients. I'll catch you on the next one.